Yeah, it's John Black, Super Chemist again. I think it's part 3. We're talking about high tariffs and that. And we talked in the last video about how these high tariffs used to be called protective tariffs because they protected, But they changed the name, right? They don't call it a protective tariff anymore. They call it we hate poor people tariff. We call it you hate low prices tariff. That's what we call it now. So of course the average person says, "Oh, I like low prices. So obviously I hate low prices tariff. I don't want that, right? Because they changed the name, right? I don't want to hate. I'm poor. I don't want a tariff called we hate poor people tariff, right? I don't want a tariff called we hate low prices tariff. It's just like BLM. Yeah, well, I don't want to get all sidetracked. But you had 3 communists who make a communist, organization called BLM. But it's called Black Lives Matter, and their skin was black. So that's all you need to know. It's about black people. Even though it was really, if you don't look at their skin color like I did, you would know that they were lifelong, self-proclaimed communists, have fought for communism their whole lives, you know that. Yeah, but most people just said, oh, their skin was black. It's called Black Lives Matter. They must be about black people. No. You're racist for thinking that, for just basing your decision on what they are based on their skin color. You're the racist one. Okay. So anyways, we're talking about all the good things that happened back in the day when we used to call it a protective tariff and we had high tariffs, okay? Now, what do we do? What happened? Well, because we went down to low tariffs, right, we had to start paying federal taxes, right? You got to pay federal taxes. You got to fund the federal government. If you don't do it the way they used to do, which is high tariffs. See, they wanted to switch it over to the, all the stuff I said was reasons why they did it so far. But there's another reason why they did it. They want us to pay federal taxes and fund the federal government with federal taxes and not tariffs, high tariffs. Because if you fund the federal government with high tariffs, high import tariffs, you're limited on what money goes into the budget, right? You can't force people to import stuff. Whatever's imported is imported. That's it. You get whatever the tariffs are is whatever the tariffs are. You can't raise up the amount of you can't raise the tariffs because they're already at the highest they can be. You know what I mean? And you can't you'll stop imports. You know what I mean? They won't be able to make any money. So you're stuck there on the amount of money that you can fund the federal government with. They didn't like that, okay? And so they wanted to get rid of that, right? And how can they get rid of that? They want the Fed, because when they get you on the federal income tax now, and they don't fund the government with high tariffs, they can always arbitrarily raise your taxes, right? If they raise the tariffs, it stops the imports because they can't make a profit. So they can't raise the tariffs. They're the set money that they get for their budget. But if they make federal taxes legal, they can just raise up the taxes until you're paying 50% in federal taxes if they want. If they want, they can take it up to 90%. If they want, Hey. If they can just take as much as they can make the bigger government as big as they want. See, before this, they couldn't make the government as big as they want because they could only get so much money from the tariffs. So we lowered the tariffs so that we can arbitrarily raise up federal charge federal taxes and raise up the things all the time, right? Like we said, what happened though? The only thing that kept slave labor out of the United States was high tariffs, right? So if you have low, then they put to the low tariffs. Now the slave labor people can bring their products in and undercut everybody, put everyone out of business. How can you, if you got $2 teddy bears and you're making $10, takes $10 to make and sell in USA, what are you going to do? Them businesses are going to go out of business. Wages are going to go down, right? because there's only so many businesses now. The more businesses there are, the more they have to pay you because they need workers. There's too many businesses, not enough workers. But what happens when all the businesses shut down in the United States? What happens? Now you have more people than you have businesses. So now wages go down because if you don't like my wages that I pay you, I'll just get somebody else. Whereas other way around, where there was only a little bit of workers and a lot of businesses, you couldn't say, oh, I'll get rid of you and find somebody else because there were barely any workers compared to, you know what I mean? But this way, they could just tell the workers, screw you. You don't like this low pay? I got half the population would want this low pay. Then the wages go down and down and down, and then people wonder, why are wages always stagnant? Because you're an idiot, and we used to have a protective tax that we no longer have because we now call it we hate poor people tax, and you are a moron and you believe that instead of saying, hey, they changed the definition, they're lying. No, you didn't say that. You acted like a human and you said, oh, BLM must be about black people. It's not about communism, even though everything they're talking about is communism. Everything they've done in their entire life, they've devoted their entire life to communism. But it's about black people. All they have to do, this is funny, all they had to do to get communism popular in the United States was change the name. Change it to Black Lives Matter. Change it to LGBT rights. You know what I mean? Oh, I believe in LGBT rights. Even though it has nothing to do with LGBT rights. It has to do with everything with communism. Same with the female supremacy, what do they call it? What do they call female supremacy? Feminism. Same way with the feminism. You know what I mean? Feminism is basically communism. If you look into the ideology back to, what feminism really is, it's communism. But we changed it to female rights. Feminism is female rights. That's all you had to do. Let's gobble up that communism because they're not calling it communism. It's still communism, but they're calling it something else. So I'm going to gobble it up. Oh, love the communism. Oh, love the communism. That's what humans are. That's how they do it. So anyways, what do you want if you want low tariffs? You want a mega store, mega corporations using slave labor and low tariffs to control the entire economy, right? Because if they can come in and have $2 teddy bears when it takes $10 to make in the United States, they can put everyone out of business, set up their own shops, right, that sell their $2 teddy bears, right, for $8, right, undercutting the $10 that they, but still screwing the public guys as much as they can, because they could sell the teddy bear for $4, still make a profit. But no, they're going to take it all the way up just a little bit below what the U.S. company can do. So that you still have high prices. It's just slightly. When they say lower prices, they mean slightly what it would be below. Because if you think that they brought it in and they just took their profits all the way down. No, they put their profit. If it was $10 teddy bears and they had $2 and they got rid of all the $10 teddy bear factories, they're going to start selling it at $8. That's the low. They don't take it down to like the $2 that they, No. They don't keep it at the slave, because slave wage prices would be $2, right? They would still sell it for, they don't do that. They put everyone out of business, and then they jack up to $8. So you're still lower than, so they're telling the truth. You do get lower prices by having low tariffs, but it's just slightly below what we would charge if we made it in our country, man. They don't undercut us by that much because they know that they'll just put us out of business. So you want these mega, you want the deep state basically, because that's who the mega corporations are. That's who they are. That's the deep state, the mega corporations. All right, that's putting it, And all it does is put all the U.S.-owned businesses out of, they bankrupt us, man. That's why nothing's made in the USA. That's why your wages are low. That's why prices are, yeah, they're lower than what they would be with high tariffs. But with high tariffs, they wouldn't be that much higher. Because they don't take the price all the way down to the slave wage thing. They take the down just a little below whatever. We don't get slave wages prices for our goods. That teddy bear isn't sold for $2. That teddy bear is sold for $8 after they put us out of business and ruin our economy. Just like chips. I wanted to bring this, and so you see what you do with high tariffs and low tariffs. What happens? All the good things you get and all the bad things you get. The good things from high tariffs and the bad things come from low tariffs, man. But there's another thing that you get. You get national security, right? Where are all the chips made, right? When I mean chip, I cut computer chips, right? Half of them are made in Taiwan, right? These are just crap chips that anyone can use. I'm talking about the good chips. Chips that like you put into a heat-seeking missile, that you put into a tank or a jet fighter or whatever, I'm talking about the good chips, right? 90% of them are made in Taiwan. You know how many chips are made in the United States? I don't think any. 0 chips are made in the United States. These chips control everything. Your satellites, everything. Your whole NORAD, everything that's controlled with a computer, yeah, it's made in one country. It's right by China, 2 feet away, right? What happens if China goes to Taiwan and buys up 30 years worth of chips? Then kidnaps, because nobody knows how to make the chips. That's what's funny. Like the really good chips. No one knows how to make them except Taiwan, apparently. We're so stupid. But anyways, so no one knows how to make it. What if they just kidnap 20 people that work to China? They live right by they're 20. Literally, you can throw a rock into Taiwan from China. You could just kidnap all at once, do it all at one time. 20 people, the main 20 people that know how to do the chips and know everything. You know what I mean? You could literally have 20 people. If you kidnap 20 people, you could to the main people. You would you would know how to make chips. So if I was Xi Jinping, the dictator of China, right? I would have a plan set up, right? All in one day, all in 1 hour, actually, all in one minute. I'd have 20 people kidnapped. I'd find out who the people were, right? I get kidnap those 20 people, and then I would just bomb the entire, everywhere where they were making chips, all them buildings. I would not just bomb them. I would just demolish everything, and try to get all those people that were, are going to be living near that thing that worked there. Try to bomb around there to kill all them people off. Now what happens? What does the USA do now? Satellite falls out of the sky. Then they start blasting our satellites out of the sky. How are we going to replace those satellites? We don't even have chips. Without chips, it's like energy. You need chips, okay? Otherwise, your country ain't crap, right? You need 2 things: energy and chips. You know what I mean? And without the chip. Why don't we make chips in the United States? Because this is a plan. This was all planned. This was part of the 100-year plan. First step, get us off of the tariffs, get us onto federal taxes so we can arbitrarily just raise up your thing and make government as big as we want. Destroy everything in the economy with low tariffs, bringing in our mega corporations, right? Using this slave labor, like the elites are like, we can't use slave labor, man. These bastards won't legalize slave labor, and we can't do that. But you know what we could do? We could lower our tariffs and use the slaves that we have in the third world countries that we own. Yeah. So they did that. Oh well.